I know it will be. It's working now. I know it is. I know it should be working now. All right, so that's there. I want to set this up so it's a little bit bigger. And I got William second. Hey Doc, no sound. Yeah, I think I got it fixed, guys. Let me know if I do. I'm just adjusting some size stuff here. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Oh wait, wrong one. Gosh darn it. It's hard doing everything with a mouse pad, and everything else is kind of in the wrong spot. We're gonna go up here. Yep. Okay. Good. Thanks. Oh, too far up. Yeah. No, maybe I'll go up there. And then I think I'll shift my other one over. Give me a second. I'm farting around with this. I should have pre-did this, but I didn't because I was screwing around with some other stuff. And you always think you're ready, but you're not. And oh, I hear the dogs. All right, let me go up with this guy a little bit more. Oops. Yeah, that should work. All right. And then if I go back to here, you can see you guys there. Okay. And let me grab something to drink real quick. I'm totally unprepared. And that's my MO, if you guys haven't figured that out. I am so unprepared all the time. Always backwards. But give me 1 second. Hey, quiet, folks. Alright, the dogs are going to drive me nuts. Alright, my apple juice. Alright. So let me... Ooh, oh, that's on there tight. Gotta take some stuff apart here. Put this barrel on and it has a fresh O-ring on it. Oh, I should have lubed that O-ring up. There it goes. Oh, let me show you. I'm going to do it like this so things aren't... You can see that fade. A lot of fingerprints on it. Pneumatics. Everything's done. Now, there's a lot of things we still got to do this before it goes back to the customer, which it is late. And you always think you have all the little parts that you need. You don't. Realize you make the emergency MasterCard orders for screws you don't have and stuff like that. But, you know, then eventually it all works. But I did get the regulator done off camera. Should have did it on camera. I don't know why I did. So that guy's all done. AK Sidewinder, all assembled. It's set right at 300 right now. I'm gonna probably change that. So I'll set that off to the side right there. Whoop, everything's bouncing around. Let me go to here. So Jake, what's up, man? How's the business going for you? Are you figuring that all out? I sure hope so. Yeah, you never had the parts, right? So let me get all my stuff here. I've been, and I'm gonna go to Super Source. And can I turn that on? Let me see if this is gonna work. It should work. When it says, yeah, there it is. Yeah, you never have all the parts, do you? If I can try to bend this all back so things are a little bit... There we go. So far away from me. I gotta figure that one out. Yep, I get you, man. That's like, there's things that we want to do to this. For instance, I did call Dan, and we have this Inception Designs now. This is a stainless steel screw, or little thumb wheel here. That guy right there. This is the aluminum one off an older one, a raw one that I have. And it's supposed to be, the new ones are stainless steel. And that's what we bought. And then, of course, what's this? Oh, yeah. Let's see, someone's buzzing me. Still working on, let's see. Yeah, all right. You're not really a new guy. You're just new to the business side of things, I guess. Like I was. Still am. I still am new. But anyway, the plan is that we don't want to have any stainless steel part, screws and stuff like that when a black oxide or whatever. So this was stainless steel, and so I left it with Dan. Didn't need to go to the anodizer, and I was in a panic. I was like, man, did we forget that? And we didn't. He had it in a box, and so he's shipping that off to me. And it's supposed to be not stainless steel, but black. And we're going to get it Cerakoted. I've ordered Cerakote and replacing stainless steel stuff with black screws. Yes, black may rust a little bit. That's okay. The person that has this will take real good care of it. And then these are the wrong screws. We got black ones coming for this. Let's see what's. Let me go look at this thing real quick. Try not to sneeze right now. Whew. The sneeze is going on. All right. We got 5 viewers. Everyone that's in here, say hi, please, so I can at least see who's all here. All the viewers, all 5 of you. Whew. Look out. Docfire Paintball is going crazy. And so a lot of things did happen from the first video and the second video, kind of. I did talk to Dan about some stuff. For instance, I'm going to take this frame off real quick. Get everything in here to... I want to talk about this frame a little bit. Everything was loose fit on here. Put all the screws off to the side so I don't lose them. Put that off to the side. So in Dan's frames, he has this block in here, and you can see it's got a trigger stop in the back. Okay. Okay, I got Ricard Glans. Hi. Beardworks High. Joker 9453. This person doesn't want to be known, right? Welcome everyone. But anyway, I was saying that in his original frame, these are these Meteor frames that he modifies. He had a hole in the back here to get to that adjuster, that rear travel screw adjuster. You can see it in here. By the way, I'm pretty sure when he offers these frames, maybe coming soon, with his kits, I don't know what the final decision is on all that, but when he does, I'm pretty sure they will come with this. And I think they come packed with all this trigger stuff. So if you're able to get, man, people buy these, the Maelstrom, I think the Maelstorms are all getting it. I don't know. I gotta remember. Dan will know better. Dan is working, and Dan from Killshot Customs. So he knows a lot more, obviously, because it's his stuff. But he'll be able to explain a little bit. But I can't explain. I want to pull this apart real quick while we have everything here. Take out this trigger shoe, and I got to put. I'm trying out. I'm supposed to put brass tip screws in there, and of course the 1032nd, and all my 1032nd are gone. I thought I had plenty of them, but apparently I don't. Okay, so let's pull this out. Interesting. Yes, yeah. And so I'm curious to see how that all happens. He requested 1032. This is all, you know, these Meteors used to have a lot of metric stuff on them. When he ordered these from Fabrice, he requested a non-metric version. Oh, I need a different screwdriver. I don't know if I can get that in there. Okay, well, I'm going to do this. Put this guy in there. I don't want to use this guy, but I am going to use this guy. He requested a... I put a little bit of Loctite on that. This is all temporary. So this little dab will do you. All SAE threads. And of course, you know, Fabrice is like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever you want. So because he ordered enough of them, I think. So let me spin that on. There we go. And I'm losing track of my track right now. Okay, so I was talking about that. Oh yeah, so everything is SAE, you know, American threads, not metric. American threads. Okay, that's in there. Good. Additionally, I think they'll come with the plates and his roller sears. Guys, and I'll just pull them up in my hand here. These people have asked for these. This is essentially tool hardened. These are I don't know what the grade is. I don't understand all that stuff, but it's a tool hard grade steel. It's a really high quality steel that then he wire EDM cuts, and then they have a whole heat treating process at their facility. So these get polished and then heat treated, and they get put in the special stainless steel bag. America, that's right, Joker. Thanks, buddy. They get just all. They get the whole, you know, kit and caboodle. Nickel. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you mean there. And so they get the whole. It's nickel. It's either nickel or stainless steel little wrapper thing that they put in. Then they put it in an oven and it gets brought up and then brought down. I don't know. It does all these crazy things. And then it gets polished again and stone ground. It's crazy, and it's weird. They look super light, but there was some heft to them. It's really, you're not looking at, you know, if you had this in your hand and didn't know what it was, you may think it'd be brass or something like that. But it feels like you could almost take this and use it to cut metal with. You know, I'm sure you could. You know, it's like that type of it feels like a brand new tool for a lathe, little square piece that you carve out to your shape that you want to use on a metal lathe. It feels like that type of I mean, it's just dense feeling. It's so hard to explain. Really nice. And the ball bearings are really, he tells you these ball bearings are super expensive, super smooth. They don't have any grit to them or anything, which is really nice. But he does that trigger stop in the back, and you used to have to access the screw from the side. And I thought we forgot to drill the hole, but he said no, he didn't want to have the hole in there anymore because he didn't want to introduce dirt and stuff like that as much as possible. So he says the block, when we loosen the block, I think that's the right, no, it's one size bigger. This is it. I don't know if I can get it in there. Of course, this is the one side that doesn't want to. When you loosen the block, you're able to turn it to the side, and which you can, or you can't on this one because it's just a little wider machining. So we found a little error. We're going to fix that. We're going to actually, these blocks they don't need to be anodized, but he gets them anodized. He's going to change the back a little bit thinner. So you can just basically loosen that one screw, spin it, adjust it, spin it back into place while it's on the marker, and then do all the adjusting. So kind of cool. I think it's a kind of a neat concept, because in reality is it's not something that you need to necessarily be field adjustable. I don't know if you can get it in Sweden. I'm sure you can. I'm sure he'll ship. So we're unsure. Dan and I are still talking about if he has a web store that he sold the Kraken bodies on and stuff like that, if he's going to continue doing that, or if Docfire Paintball is going to be the retailer for the kill shot. And we're still discussing that. There's no decision made on either side. we're weighing the pros and cons and what makes sense for both of us, because sometimes it's kind of becomes a little bit of a headache. So anyway, I wanted to take this thing apart, and oh, there's a spring, and I think I had to measure some springs out, and I wanted to get that screw in there. So actually, I'm trying for giggles. I have a nylon grub screw in there, which are really slippery. And the back one is one of those green nylon ones, and it feels, honestly, it feels really good. So I don't know. So why not both? Let me see. Oh, why don't we sell them on both? You know, it comes down, I know, for, and I don't want to speak for Dan, but I do know that he has mentioned to me that sometimes it's time for him. You know, if you don't know who Dan Mazzani is, their family owns KD Toys, and it's model train, the KD automatic coupler thing, and it's been in the family for generations, and they make model trains, and it's all in Oregon, and it's all USA made. I mean, everything is made in-house, and I've had a tour of the facility. It's amazing. I'm not a train person at all, but this stuff is. I would be the quality of stuff that they produce. I would do it. They have injection molding machines that makes all the plastic molds for like the little plastic cars with the sides, and they do a ton of research. They have a whole print shop, and they print all their paperwork. All the boxes and everything are all made in house. The only thing they don't make in house are these two little screws that hold the little, I call them the trucks, I guess, on the bottom of the car. It's two little like stainless steel or steel fine threaded screws. Okay, Doc, what is this little block you're talking about, William? You can see in there, it's got a stop. See that? If I get in there, see the trigger hitting it? It says a rear travel stop, if that's what you're referring to. Let me know. So they do a whole bunch of stuff with model trains, and they have injection molding machines. They have for plastic, and they do and that's where he does the Delrin trigger plates. Yeah. Well, it's a rear trigger stop. That's what it is, and it's adjustable, and it's just a way that he did it. You see the bottom, this bottom tang right here hits that screw, and you can adjust how far it goes back. That's all it is. It's a simple design. You just, it's keep it simple, stupid. And so their family does that, and they do all the does the kill shot plates for the gunfighters, and they were machined out of Delrin, and now they're injection molded out of Delrin. And so that's what he does. He makes molds for his family. They make all the reverse molds, and so when he makes those, he can squeeze out, and they're all Delrin. It's all virgin Delrin out of those, so that and it's super high quality. I mean, it's ridiculously nice stuff. And then they have a firearms division. They do the Martini rifle, I think it is, single shot lever action drop breech rifle that they were just at SHOT Show, and they do this one gun. I think he does some other suppressor stuff for the government. I don't know, does something like that, or they have the ability to do all that stuff. And just a neat place. And the paintball division is his, and the kill shot, so that's Kill Shot Customs. That come out of it. And I can't speak too much for it. He's the one that would be able to say a lot of the things about their company. I don't know all the stuff. Okay, let me put the spring in here. Put that in there. Yep, that's good. I'm going to drop that down there, and I'm trying to see. Okay. Okay, we got Wayne out. Hello, Bit, from topic for your current build. But okay, I got to read this. Hello, Bit. A bit of topic from your current build, but how are the ST videos going? We've been keeping an eye out on the ShotTech website panel, and Anno Desert Fox. Oh, okay, yes. So I actually talked to Danny yesterday, and he goes, Mark has part to go, hey, where's the doc been? And I had to take we were doing Christmas, and then got canceled because of some COVID stuff in the family, and then we just did Christmas. So we just got out of Christmas the second week of January, and it's just been chaotic. And in about the first about the end of December, everything goes dead. And like in retail sales, everything just kind of drops off. So I took a little kind of mental break. Not really mental, just a little break with families, just like everyone else, taking the Christmas holiday off, and it got extended a little bit. So those videos, I cranked out some videos yesterday for ShockTech. I hadn't been doing editing on. That's the I don't know. The hardest part is getting the videos done, not in like 40 takes. And so like if come on, get in there. If I have to do, for instance, so it was, the videos I did yesterday for ShockTech were assembly of a 3-way, as if you got it from, if you bought raw parts from ShockTech and then you send it off to get anodized, it doesn't kind of come assembled. It comes in all pieces, and then the person assembles it. And what it does twofold: it shows a person who has an assembled piece how it goes together, and it will help them hopefully diagnose things. And then second, it shows a person that has a piece how it's supposed to be assembled from the factory. So you understand that. Now you can assemble it any way you want. That you've bought the product, you can do whatever you want. But ShockTech wants to be able to say, this is the standard that ShockTech lives by on that. So we actually did it on that really cool Desert Fox, which is, it's in here somewhere. Oh, check it. You're talking about this guy right here. And this is all just dry fit on it. Aesthetic anodizing. First off, when they sent it to me, they sent it with black pneumatics by accident. And so I had to wait for clear stuff to come in. So, let me put this all away. So that took a little bit of time. But it's now on me. So I got to get going on it. But part of that process is I'm utilizing that marker for their other instructional videos of assembly stuff or teching stuff. So it's a slower process because it's going, okay, I'm going to do this. It's like I called Danny and I said, okay, I need to take notes on how to install a 3-way on your gun, on your marker. And so he'll go through stuff, and then I'll do a take, and then I'll go and run it by him, or have him look at it, and sometimes there's a mistake in it, so I got to redo it. So like for instance, if I'm doing a video on installing these barbs, like on this one, which I just did, I can't Loctite these. If I screw up the video and I've Loctited it, then it's like, okay, let me disassemble everything and hopefully not damage it. This is a customer's marker. It just happened to be that the timing is working. It made sense to do it that way. So if that makes any sense, long story short is yes, no, yes, it's going to get done. It has to get done. That's one of my jobs. So, so hopefully we'll see more of that here pretty soon. I have some, I have some work that I did for, there's a lot of free work that I did before I opened Docfire Paintball. A lot of stuff that I did for free for folks. And it was always like, hey, look, if I'm doing it for free, there's no guarantee on time. And for one of the things that I reached out to the guy that's doing the Sith valve. He was out of South America at one time. He's an engineer or something like that, in which basically it's like the MQ valve, but he's using a bullet solenoid. And I have it. He sent me a prototype one to do some testing on my dyno on it. And so I haven't got to it. And that was a year and a half ago. I just am trying to get to it. And it's, you know, by the time I got it and got it put into a gun, Docfire Paintball was off the ground, and I didn't plan on that. The dogs over there scratching at the door. So, you know, that gets a little frustrating. Daniel, another Daniel, there's 3 Daniels, that is doing that. You know, he's upset, I think, a little bit, and rightfully so. You know, I'm trying to, I want to do it, but I have customers' markers that I got to get out. So there's a priority list, and then I have other contracts with other paintball vendors and companies that those are become priorities, and the free stuff gets pushed off the side. All my personal stuff, my personal gear. Thank God I'm using that Desert Fox. I don't have to touch it. I put a little oil in, and the thing works. So I'm happy with that. And yes, I am biased. I'm going to be totally biased. It is a nice gun. Hold on. The dog he's chewing at the door. Hold on. Come on, goofball. What are you guys doing? I know. I need to feed you guys. Hold on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Over here. No, you know what? I better not have stuff that you could chew on the ground over here. Yeah. All right, well, he's being feisty. So that's kind of that update. I would love to get all that stuff done. You know, there was all this Reg Dyno stuff that I did, and there's still some more stuff I wanted to do. And that's all the free stuff. That's all the stuff that that's the fun stuff to do, you know? And then there's the stuff that's the reality. Let's see. Is the Pearl Desert Fox still available to purchase? I don't know. I don't know. We have not decided how we're going to do it. If there's going to be sold on Docfire Paintball, or if it's going to be sold, if I'm going to ship it back to Shock Tech. I don't know. But you should know that at some point you'll see that that video comes out, then probably a shooting video on YouTube. You'll know that it's probably going live there pretty soon. I don't know, maybe we'll do something cool with it. I'll have to talk to Shock Tech. Maybe it will be, I don't know if they want to sell it either. So that's the other thing, that maybe I have to, the plan was to send me a marker to do for the instructional stuff, and that's the one that they had. And so that's what they sent me. The other stuff had been spoken for, and they just got that back from Aesthetics. So it is that. But I need to get working on that. But I do videos all morning long, and then the afternoon I try to take a break, and live feed kind of sounded fun to do, so that's why I'm here. But oh, I have some Hogue grips. Oh. No. I'll call my dad back later. I'm a big proponent of Hogue grips. I like them. Palm swells. I think they're simple, clean. They work really good. I think I have the screws for these. Like I said, this thing is 49% done. Let's see. Of course, all my screws are... It's tough when you're not working in your shop. And you have to... Oh, there's all the screws right there. You have to go out to the shop to get screws. See if I want this one. I don't know if I want that. I like Allen head ones. If I can get a button head. I don't want Phillips heads. I want Allen head. One. Get them all. Come on. Come on, get up there. Two. I think these are all the same size. 3. I can't see that well because that's the wrong one. What is that over there? Really need to go through my screw collection here. Yeah, that should be it. All right. Let's see. Trying to keep up with all the comments. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And these will be black. They're on order, but I just want something to fill the holes. Is that the right size screw? I got the right size screw. Can't see anything. Blind as a bat. No, wrong size. Oh my god, this is the right one. Huh. Okay, those are both the wrong ones. Well, it wasn't, but the grip's on. Thought I had the screws right in here. Let me put these ugly Phillips head one on. Oh, that's one. Oh, here they are. There's one right there. There's one. There's two. Get the third one. That's not it. There's three. One more. I know you're in here. I saw you. There's four. Grab just the fatter ones. In that case, it's starting to lose its stuff. Let's see. Yes, these are them. Yep. Those be them. Oh, let's see what's going on. Hold it back. Yeah, Joker was a little while ago when I was doing the regulator testing. Is that going to continue? I'm going to try to. It's all time now. You know, the funny thing is I retired from Cal Fire. 32 years of doing that. Great job. Very thankful I had those opportunities. And right, it is. It totally is. It's simplicity at its finest. If you guys have ever seen simplicity, you're looking right at it. But I worked there for 32 years. Retired in 2019. Paintball was always obviously a hobby / stress reliever. I did law enforcement for them and investigations. And a lot of people didn't like me because I did that. Because I went after people for starting fires. And, but we did all that stuff, and then I retired and spent kind of a year. I don't know, it kind of started off as, man, that feels good. It's just, I mean, it's so buttery, it's stupid. Now, there's no lube in this. I'm just going to drop just a dribble lube. And so, I not that I got bored, but I kind of got bored. I use such a little amount of lube. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. And I'm not a good multitasker. You have noticed that too. I'm very, like I said, a very simple person. And I'm okay with that. And so I got bored. And the super game, the 2020 super game, I reached out to a company called Halo Headbands. They do road bike for people that are into riding bicycle, you know, doing a road bike. And do a headband that's a neoprene style. It's a wicking style. And it has this, what's called a rain gutter. It's a little silicone strip in there that helps when the sweat gutter, when sweat goes down, it drains it back behind your ears. And it works really well. And I ended up reaching out to them, USA made product, gave some designs, got some quotes, and then, you know, printed a whole bunch of these things for Super Game 2020. And I figured, oh, I'll sell them there, you know, be easy sell, stuff like that. And they canceled it. And so I'm sitting on all this product. I don't have Docfire Paintball. It's not in existence. I paid tax on this stuff. You know, they did give me a deal, but yeah. So just it was kind of like, well, I'll just make a web store. And so I did some research and talked to Greg Lund from NFG Customs and asked him what he uses, and because I wanted something that I didn't want to start with something really, really cheap, and then if I wanted to upgrade. When I got into it, I realized, like, oh man, let me go get my business license. Let me go get my seller's permit. All these things you got to do here where I live, and I ended up getting all that stuff, and it was totally worthwhile. Because when I got done, I go, well, I might as well go out to all these other companies and ask for product, so if I can sell their product. And so that's kind of how it evolved. What did my Allen show? And so that's where Docfire came from, Docfire Paintball, outside of Docfire Down Dirty Reviews, which I don't do anymore, because how do you do reviews? You got to do overviews. You can't do reviews. You got to do overviews. If you do reviews and you sell product and you give something maybe you don't sell, a bad review, how does that look? It looks like crap, right? Oops. So I do overviews. So that's kind of how that's how that goes down. All right, come on, get in there. There it is. I want to just like that. I'm going to get this guy in here. I'm feeling this as I should put it in. Okay, so that's starting to stick. Back it off just a little bit. Right about there. Oh, man, I don't know how to explain this. Maybe it's like getting 2 sheets of glass, right, and putting a thin layer of oil on it, and then rubbing that top piece of glass against the bottom of it. That's what it feels like when I pull this. It's just, there's no grit. There's no slop, no side to side, no up and down, but it's effortless. I mean, it is so, yeah, I can't explain it. It's amazing, guys. If you go to Super Game, you'll see this marker there. Hopefully the owner will let you fondle it and you'll be able to feel that amazing trigger. It is pretty darn amazing. So, the other things I got to do to this is I have Cerakote, so I can't put this stuff on completely. I have to Cerakote some of these parts here. Probably I was gonna hot Cerakote, but I think I'm gonna cold Cerakote. It's just, man, there's so much stuff. The pump arm we want to Cerakote. We want it to kind of blend away. We want the pump arm to just kind of go away. We don't want it to be gloss. We want it to be like a semi. Hey, what's going on there, buddy? So, yeah, my dog is in here, but he's being feisty. A semi-gloss, and so I just have to mix the Cerakote right just to get that look. Oh, the other cool things that were off camera, you guys didn't see. I'm going to pull this out. Lightning bolt. This is actually, got this from Jared at AKA, and thanks, Jared, for taking care of Docfire Paintball and all that stuff. We definitely appreciate you guys, or you. AKA Paintball is very similar to Docfire Paintball in the sense that it's one person. That he's actually a firefighter himself. But he said, look, I need Evo Length this, and he goes, and Merlin spec, because they were a little bit fatter. And he had the original ones. These are old school. But if you notice, it doesn't have the detent thing in there. Hey, get out there. But I have a detent thing here. Let's see, what's William say? Hey, hold on. Let me put the dog outside. Get out there. Get out. Get out, goofball. Get out. Worried he's going to eat stuff in here. He eats O-rings. It's really, really not awesome. Hey, if you guys haven't seen these, get these at Docfire Paintball. It's the Shock Tech These guys, oh, now he's scratching at the door. Okay, so what does William say? Let's look at, I see a lot of reviews. First, everything is crap except their favorite products, but most are pretty honest. Yeah, you know, William, my philosophy on doing reviews is that you have to be unbiased. And that's tough. It's very tough to be unbiased in this world. Everyone's got some sort of bias. Hold on. He's either going to scratch on the door or he's going to be in here squeaking at me. And so, and it's tough to be unbiased. Now, if you're a manufacturer and you're doing reviews on your own product, you're totally biased. It's not a review, it's an overview. You're giving an overview of your product and you're highlighting all the key things, why you made it and why you did certain things a certain way. That's great. That's what they should do. Okay. If you're a retailer selling product, and I'm going to use A&S because I watch a lot of Rory's videos because I think they're really well done. I think you get good information about how the product is intended to work and what it looks like on things and how it looks in someone's hands. And hey, goofball and stuff like that, but they're not reviews, and I don't think they do reviews. If you really look at it, they don't give some sort of a chart of a 1 to 10 at all. They pretty much just, you know, tell you about it, and they tell you, yeah, it's a good product. You know, of course it is. They sell it. They just maybe bought 1,000 of them, and they don't want to say, hey, totally bad product. You shouldn't buy these, because they want to get rid of them, even if they are kind of crap. And I actually love those type of informational videos. I think that's great. But I mean, you dig through YouTube and you see someone that pops up and say, hey, look, I got X product that I bought, and I was sold on all the stuff that they told me to do, and it worked for 6 months, and now it's broken and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or whatever. It's, you know, the as seen on television garbage. You know, that stuff, those are the more reviews. That's real stuff. And I don't even look, it's hard to trust. Even like you go to Amazon, which I hate, and you see the reviews they have there. Those are, a lot of that stuff's bought, and people can buy that stuff. So, and it's because they want to sell product. They don't want to not sell product. So, yes, I watch Brad also. Brad used to work at SAC Paintball, which is Junior Brown and his wife's store, at Extreme Paintball out of Modesto. They have their second store, and he's worked with them. He's worked there. I think he helped them set that up. He owned Predator Paintball in Sacramento. He's been around for a long time, and I've sat and talked to Brad about the same thing. And you know, and I don't want to speak for Brad, but one of his things he told me is that a lot of times, you know, it's tough to do those unbiased reviews because you have to literally buy this stuff. You know, it all depends if the manufacturer is going to send you product and that they're willing to accept what your review is no matter what. That you're gonna, if you're gonna spend the time to look at their product and then give it a positive or negative review. Let's say you give them a negative review and they say, look, we want to look at that information before you send it out, and we're going to approve it or not. Well, what if you do it? You can't work like that either, because you've just spent a whole bunch of time, and you may go, hey, look, there's some bad things on there. I'm going to highlight the good things, and you know, yeah, I can see the manufacturer may not want that going out, but on the flip side is it's hard to take on free product like that unless you can go there and say, look it. This product was given to me for a review, and I told the company that if that's the case, then you have to accept what my review is, and hopefully, if it's anything negative, that you do some changes to whatever you need to change to make things better. But it's I know that sometimes companies have a hard time wanting to do that. Like they usually know what's wrong with their product before it goes out. They know where the holes are in it. So it's always interesting on that. let's see. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see. A lot of how-to guides and reviews simply run out of short. Yeah, I agree with it. And you know, a lot of my stuff was autococker based because there was a lot of junk out there back in the day. There was a lot of junk. And I was a sucker. I bought all that junk. I was totally suckered into all that stuff. And so yeah, I'm a sucker for all that garbage. Man, that feels so good. And I spent so much money that I shouldn't have. I mean, just tons of money. And I wish I could get some of that money back, but I can't. So I kind of stuck with autocockers. That's what I know for the most part. Older guns. I get the space guns. I'm not interested in them. There's people out there that's their thing. Not for me. There's and I kind of looked at when I was doing the Docfire Down Dirty reviews. I didn't spend a lot of effort in it because I didn't want to feel like when I got to the end of content, that was it, and I didn't feel like I was finished anything. So, you know, essentially, you kind of get limited, and I think I kind of was getting there. Yeah, there's new stuff. You can look at stuff that the different companies like Inception and Free Flow have come out with. ShockTech hasn't, outside of the Gunfighter 1.5s. I reviewed the 1.0s. I gave my opinion on it. I thought they had a heavy trigger. And so did everyone else. And ShockTech changed it. So they actually made the trigger a lot better. But for me, it's just going to be overviews. If you notice anything that I've done ever since the dye pneumatics, I had ordered that before Docfire Paintball was in existence, and nor did I carry it in my store. And I was excited about it. All right. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah. Okay, so I can't post your link because it does allow me to post. I think it's allowing me to post. So you got to watch out for language. It's got a language thing here. So, but well, we can talk about, if you want to talk about lubes, we can talk about lubes. I think it's hilarious. So, so what? Let me scroll back up to. I want to put that up on the screen because if any of this does get monetized, it gets pulled down. Let's really appreciate please. Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's totally right. I gotta catch up with this stuff. Okay, so what does this say? Hey Doc, back with another question. Is your lube have petroleum in it? Yes, it does. The Docfire. Hold on, let me answer this real quick. I'm gonna put you guys on mute. All right, sorry about that. My parents, they're old, 80-something. Always, my dad's around going on. I'm trying to get him off the phone. But anyway, so does the Docfire Lube have petroleum products in it? Yes, it does. Does AKA Lube have petroleum products in it? Yes, it does. Recommended by AKA. That is the lube that they recommend for their regulators. Dow 33 is a silicon-based paste lube from Dow and Corning, and then I always say use what the manufacturer recommends. Simple. That's the easiest way to answer all these things. If you're comfortable with working on your stuff or whatever, use what you want to. If you want to use any of the other lubes that are out there, have at it. You bought. This belongs with, you know, whatever marker that you have, you own. It's yours. And if you're worried about a warranty, like reality, folks, you know, paintball warranties, let's think about that one for a second. Yeah, maybe for new stuff, brand new, just follow their stuff. It's probably the best. But when it comes to petroleum products, let me ask you this. You guys all drive cars, right? You have oil that's in the engine, right? And is that a petroleum-based oil? Most of them are, right? Have been for decades. Are there butyl rubber O-rings and rubber seals that are made out of butyl type of material and urethanes and stuff like that in there? Yes, all day long there are. And does that stuff deteriorate over time? Heat, yeah, heat kills O-rings through time. Age kills O-rings through time. The wrong lubrications that are bad for that type of material will kill O-rings. If you know what that is, but most oils for automotive use are either they go look at if it's an engine oil, it's going to be safe for these type of products that were commonly found in engines. And I think that's where it comes from, those little certifications on the oil containers, like, hey, use, you know, SAE whatever, or the, you know, the AE whatever the different, that little round disc that has all this stuff on there. But anyway, the whole point is this, is the Docfire something ring lube is slick oleum. Okay, it's, go look up slick oleum. It's SLICKOLIUM, slick oleum. Go Google search that. Go to the website. It's the manufacturer, and this manufacturer, I've talked to the company before. How they came about is they were into motorcycle forks and tuning motorcycle forks, and they wanted a lubricant, a grease style lubricant that they could put on the O-rings that were on the aluminum shafts of motocross pistons with the Buna O-rings, that they could put this paste lube on that would reduce what they called stiction. They named it stiction, and stiction is that friction, static friction. They call it static friction. They call it stiction. That if a fork, motorcycle or mountain bike fork, is at rest for a few minutes, that initial force you have to push, it's called breakaway force, is they wanted to get rid of that. For whatever reason, that their studies showed that if they were able to do that, the fork was going to perform better. I don't know. That was the goal, was to get rid of that. And so they went to a chemist and they said, look, these are the products we're going to utilize the oil on. These is the, you know, rubbers, the urethane rubbers and stuff like that. This lube, this is what we're going to use it for. And we need something that we want to reduce the friction, the static friction after it sits for a while. So the breakaway force is a lot less, which is, in a paintball marker, if you think about that, especially a spool gun, is being able to reduce that initial shot. Either you have a drop shot or whatever. I know that in some of the spoolie guns there were some issues. I don't know all the details on that. Just not into those guns that much. But that's what they produced. And when they produced it, they sold that under Slick Oleum and some other private brands for a long time. So they would private brand Slick Oleum to a lot of different companies. For instance, RockShox for mountain bikes and Slick Honey, which is still being sold, is Slick Oleum. It's made by Slick Oleum. It's branded with their stickers on it. And Slick Oleum packages it and sends it, and they put their sticker. They buy and buy the cases of that stuff. Same with Tech T. So Tech T, the stuff that comes in a container that looks, ironically, just like this one, but it's pink, translucent. The containers made by the same LA container company, LA Code Container Company, that does the foil seal label on the top of it. That you can all get through Slick Oleum. That's Slick Oleum. Now, I did talk to Slick Oleum about Tech T, and he says in the beginning, Tech T wanted a little thinner consistency than what they were currently selling. And so they actually ordered enough that they provide just a little thinner version of their slick oleum. Now it's all the same because they went to a thinner version themselves, and it gets manufactured, and they have a process to make sure that it meets certain standards, and it does have petroleum products in it. If you go to my website, Docfire Paintball, you go all the way to the bottom, you look at MSDSs and stuff like that. It has all the data sheets for slick oleum. I just relabeled them for Docfire stuff because that's what you have to do. But that's all it is. And so, are some petroleum lubricants bad for O-rings? Yeah, all day long. Yes, it can be. Depends on what lubricant it is. I wanted to make sure that I had a lubricant that was safe for the stuff. Are silicone lubricants fine? Yeah, they're fine. Do they last as long? No, they don't last as long generally. I bought a whole bunch of silicone, different weights, pure silicone lubricants. And they're generally made for the makeup industry, and they're food grade. And I have about 15 different bottles of different weights. One is like water, and then one is like honey. And I can mix and match them to find out what I have. And I tested all that stuff. The interesting thing about that silicone stuff is what a lot of the silicone-based paintball stuff is that's what they're doing. They're buying that from Creighton Manufacturing. They're buying that bulk product and they're rebottling it, which is fine. That stuff has a shelf life, and it goes bad after a certain amount of time. Now, Dow 33 I can't speak for, although Dow 33 does have a shelf life and 55 of shelf life after being opened. If you go to their website, you look at their information on their products, on their Dow line of Dow 33s and those type of greases, especially the Dow 33 Light and the Dow 33 and the Dow 55s, they have a shelf life of, after opened, they don't recommend it. They say it's not going to perform like it's supposed to after a certain amount of time. And it's funny, I've told people that, and they're like, "Oh, I don't believe you." I just go look, go research yourself. I don't care. Have at it. There's no reason for me to lie. I use Dow 33. I use KC Outlast, which I really like, which is silicone based. And then I think I have it's an Empire one that was really cheap. It's a big one, and it's blue. The silicone based stuff's got a blue tint to it. It's just, all it is it's got blue dye in it to make it a different color. And I don't know what Caesar stuff is. People use it, people like it, people don't like it. There's so much controversy over that to me it's always saying, hey, use what you want to use. Who cares? If you want to use silicone based, have at it. Just be cautious if you're using silicone O-rings with silicone lube. There are sometimes some incompatibility issues with that. So just think about that. Some people, I was using some silicone O-rings for a while. I found that out, and it doesn't really like silicone. Doesn't like a lot of different lubes. So, yeah, that's kind of the long short of it. But yeah, so and by the way, Shock Tech, Danny Love used Dow 33 Light since 2017, and probably before that. But let's talk about the new Shock Tech run of stuff. If you bought stuff at the beginning, you took your RAM apart, you saw the white Dow 33. If you took your three-way apart, you saw the white 33. If you look at the stuff that you get now, it's not white anymore. It's actually this clearish amber color. It's slick oleum. And I know this because I was at his house and he had a tub of slick oleum there with the label on it. And I go, hey, you're using slick oleum. And he goes, he says, I don't know what it is, if it's I have O-rings that are funky or what, but he says, he goes, I could swear, here's a guy that builds hundreds and hundreds of three-ways and puts them on guns and stuff like that. Hundreds and hundreds of these things. And sees stuff and hears all the complaints come back to him, right? He goes to me and he goes, I used Dow 33, but he says, I'm thinking that they're flattening the O-rings out. Either the O-rings that I'm buying, the material has changed. Hang on. Oh, come here. Hold on. The material has changed. Let me bring up. This is Peanut. Peanut's the little runt. She's old. All right, Peanut. Sit down. I know I gotta feed you guys in a minute. He bought, and there was a question from Jonathan I'm gonna get to in a second. He bought, or he was telling me, he goes, yeah, I don't know what it is. He says, but I don't know if it's the Dow 33 or what, but my O-rings are going flat on me. And I go, you know, I've noticed some of that. And he says, I was having, if you guys noticed, he says my Ram O-rings, the number 10, and that's why he went to a urethane O-ring in his Rams. He goes, they're going flat. And then my 3-ways, he says, they were going flat, and they're a Buna-based material. So he was said, I knew of silica oleum. I said, I've used it in the past, and so he says, I'm giving this a whirl, and he's had good luck with it. So that's why, if you see any videos that I do for ShockTech themselves, it will say that the recommended lubrication is either silica oleum or Dow 33. They both work for him. He's had problems with the Dow 33, and that's either the O-ring or a combination of what he doesn't know, but he was changing up because he doesn't have the time to test that necessarily. So hopefully that answers the question on that. Message retracted. Message retracted. Okay, so I'm going to go to here. It says, Jonathan recently bought a ShockTech CG3 and had a question about if it needed an adjustable tank valve or would a standard be okay. So you got a recently on a CG3, an adjustable tank valve. Question about tanks and if it needed an adjustable tank valve. Jonathan, I'm kind of confused. You're talking about, when you say tank valve, you're talking about the regulator on your compressed air tank, right? And if it needs an adjustable one, that you can adjust the pressure on it. If that's the case, no and yes, I guess. If that's what it is. Put me up on that. But in general, autocockers, although they may be, quote unquote, hey, it's my autococker's low pressure, right? It may be low pressure. There is, if you look at the air passage of an autococker, all right, let's get it here. All right, I can just lay it right here. You have air coming in this way, boop. It goes, in a ShockTech, it goes to a 90-degree fitting and turns this way. Then it goes to a 90-degree fitting and turns up. Okay, thanks, Jonathan. I see the correct there. Then it goes up into a regulator and it works its way through the regulator, and it's regulated air. So it comes out at a certain PSI of the tank from 850 down to 250, depending on what tank regulator you have. And then it goes through the second stage regulator, which is your marker regulator, and it goes up and fills a chamber up in here, okay? And it's that waiting air pressure. It's got the chamber in there and a little bit that's in here and whatever, it's in an LPC chamber if you have it, but you've got a filled area at a certain pressure, certain volume, certain pressure. Then you have this valve mechanism that gets hammered open, and that air's got to flow around that valve, right? And then it's got to make a 90. So it's got to go around that valve, then it's got to make a 90, then it's got to make another 90, and then go through a bolt, all right? And a hole in a bolt, and then be dispersed behind the ball, okay? Everything is a restriction here. So you have a big hole here, it goes into the valve, which is can pump to a little tiny hole that goes through the body, right? And then it opens back up into a valve, and it goes out there. So depending on, man, what I just say is, to me, that pressure coming out of that tank is, long as it's above 650 psi, 650 to 850, you're fine with 99% of the autocockers out there. Current, right? You don't need to go low pressure. Now, if you're using your tank on a gun that's like an EMEC or a 160R or something like that, or any of these other guns that they want a lower pressure coming out because their second stage regulator doesn't really work well with that higher pressure, maybe how they engineered it, then yeah, you can get an adjustable one, but they're all adjustable. Like the haymakers are adjustable. They have a tool you can get to adjust it on the inside. The Ninjas are adjustable with shims. You just take shims in and out, and that adjusts the pressure on The CP regulators, which are still available, they're adjustable with a different piston that's in there, and all it is the height of the piston. That's all that's how they change that. If that makes any sense. The dogs are going nuts because they're hungry. And tank valve, yeah. So, you know what I say is buy decent quality tank rag and tank. It's the fuel to your system. You know, that's where everything starts. And then maintain that like you maintain your marker. Okay? If you don't service your own stuff and you send your tank in to get done. To be serviced, the rag at least. If you can take the rag off or whatever. I know people are always scared about that because you see the things from Ninja where they get stripped, and I'm sure that happens. You know, out of the thousands of stuff they sell, and you see like maybe every couple months one person says, "Oh, this thing sucks." You know, well, that's not bad. So, you know, I don't know. It's there's probably a lot of schools of thought. Like you talk to Mr. Palmer himself. You know, he grew up in CO2 world. I'm not saying he doesn't know anything about HPA. He does, but he really built guns based on CO2, which expands 8 times its volume when it goes from a liquid to a gas, and then it's typically around 800 psi at its expansion, and it operates just differently than a lot of other things, and in some cases it operates better than compressed air. I truly believe it does. You look at some of these old Sheridan pump guns that have the little CO2 cartridges and how well they shoot. I mean, they shoot amazing, and they're just tuned out to that source. And now everything's compressed air. We tune out compressed air to our gun to the compressed air system, you know, to that source, that energy. So I hope that isn't a lot. And I probably should get kind of working on this marker a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe how long I've been on here. I started at 2:30. What time is it now? 2:30, about an hour or something. Whew, that's a little bit of time. Okay, so let's go through some more questions. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Okay, Jonathan, I just didn't want to under-pressurize the system because I know the bolt and O-rings can take the blood. Yeah. I think you really have to look at what marker it's going on and look at the manufacturer of that marker, what they recommend for the tank output pressure. That's really important. For autocockers, man, well, what I can tell you is that the testing I've done where I have a transducer on the output side of the valve and a transducer on between the ball and the bolt face, a pressure transducer that's hooked up to an oscilloscope, and I can watch the pressure wave as the gun fires, the peak of that pressure. It takes about 68 psi, give or take. The physics are right around that too, and don't quote me exactly on that. It's somewhere in that 60s to fire a 68 caliber paintball at 3 grams at 300 feet per second down a 12-inch barrel. Okay, full barrel in essence. Yeah, right, Jake. Yeah, too bad we can't adjust the paint. We can change the bore size. Yeah. Paint is, I tell you right now, it's sad. And paint is junk. And I get the COVID and all this stuff. We're going to get that. But paint has been junk for probably before COVID hit. It's just been gone to garbage land. And it's like you hear people talk about, oh, the paint sucks, the paint sucks, the paint sucks. And then you hear like, well, I went to an event, the paint was great. And it's like, yeah, but how many events where people said the paint all sucked? And we're shooting footballs, and yeah, that's frustrating. I think, and I think when paint was made, we were in the good America, you know. Yeah, it was back in the day, it was more expensive, but the stuff was shot great. I mean, just shot amazing. The RP share premium, which was in my price point back in the days, the paint that I would usually buy. That or Big Ball, because that was really cheap. was eating top ramen and saving up for buying a case of Big Ball for the weekend. Big Bounce. But the premium was my high grade, and then if I felt really saucy, I would get Marbleizer or something like that, or Nelson Anarchy, which Palmer's used to sell Nelson Anarchy, and that's where I buy it. And it's just garbage now. So, you know, people go, oh, my gun's all consistent. It's inconsistent. Like, I was at Super Gun last year, and I had a customer that was there with me, Wayne Mills, and he usually pops in here. America. That's right. That's right, Joker. Put that up there. America. So Wayne had wanted his 2K Pro Stock or something. I can't remember what it was. It's one of the autocockers. Those funny looking ones that aren't really super popular. And he wanted some upgrade stuff on it. He has having some leaks and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, just put all shock tech on it." So we put a bunch of shock tech. We put a I don't know if we put a gunfighter frame on it or not. But it was his first time at Super Game. And I told him, I said, hey, the paint's always kind of funky at Super Game. Sometimes it's footballs. And then, you know, so it's chaotic, right? So everyone's kind of doing their thing and trying to get going. And I see Wayne like halfway to the first day, and he just sees he's having a bad day. And he goes, I don't know what's going on. This gun's not shooting right. I'm like, what do you mean it's not shooting right? So the velocity's all over the place. And I'm like, and then he goes, I've messed with it. So I go, oh, what do you mean? He goes, I've done these things. And it had a shock tech lower tube kit in. I go, I adjusted the IVG, I did everything, and it's not working right. And I go, so I put it all back to stock, and I go, well, let me go over, and I take it over there, and I'm shooting. And it's like, wow, it's shooting how I did. I'm getting, you know, you're at 300 PSI and 2 turns in from flush. I'm shooting, you know, I get a 320, and I get a 295 ball. And I go, yeah, that's shooting like all the paint that I've had this week, and what Dan from Killshot, how his paint's shooting, how Shane's paint's shooting, everyone else. And he goes, yeah, but I come up and they say, you gotta, it's too hot. And so I turn it down, and now it's too, and then like I have like, he says, I'll shoot like 10 shots at 280. And then I have one shot that goes at 290, and they say I need to turn it down. And that's the one football that went down, you know, long wise. And the rest have him turn it down. And I said, yeah. I said, so he turns it down, and he's just lobbing stuff, and he's just having the worst time. And I go, dude, it's not the gun. It's the paint. It's just junk. And you know, here in America, we can't accept that. So, yeah, it was, you know, paint sucks. It's sad. It's sad. They say grow the sport. Grow the sport, you know, grow the sport is have paint that actually breaks and is durable enough that you can shoot through stuff, but it's fragile enough that it breaks when it hits people, and it flies straight. And it means if you got to buy it in China or wherever, have at it. I was told that all there's like a PEX shortage and stuff like that, and I'm sure there is right now. There's a shortage on everything. I can hear my dogs are getting really hungry. So, but let's see who else is all in here. I got more people on board here. You know, we're gonna work on a gun, but or a marker. But let's get this. It's got fingerprints all over it. Man, you can see it's like a black purple. Man, it looks good. Just a good looking marker. Buttery smooth. And which reminds me, there's more things I need to order for this thing. It's just I need to get Cerakote coming. Let's see. Any other questions? I think this is becoming question and answers. I talked to Mark Davis. He thought that they were pretty good as a question and answer. It kind of fiddle far with maybe a cool marker, stuff like that. Let's put this off to the side. Let's grab something else. Let me go grab. I'll be right back. Let me grab something else. This is gonna be biased though, super biased. Hey. All right, coming back. Hold on, coming back. Almost there. There we go. Told you it's gonna be a bias there. All right, let's see. So this is the fire serial number 000. This is the prototype that ended up being a done gun or done paintball. Ooh, that's on her tight. Oh, I did take this off. This one is not built by me. These are all built by Danny. Yeah, this is the fire. Get it up in the. There it is. You can see it. Yeah, fire 000. This is the prototype. That ended up not being a prototype because we didn't have to change anything, so it ended up becoming a marker. And but yeah, this is, if you guys haven't seen these in person, and I am biased because I've never had the opportunity. I mean, I just think it's crazy the fact that I was able to work with ShockTech to come out with a Docfire based gun. So, okay, let's just see. William, what's Williams? Williams got another question. Question answered. Not all my answers are correct, by the way. So I do think I'm perfect, and my wife does not believe that at all. But let's see. What's the point of a ball detent if the paintball gets pushed by before it gets shot? And it gets okay. So in a closed bolt system, right, which is what this is the bolt opens up, right? The ball detents are right here. The paint drops down in here, and the idea of the ball detent is to make sure with any force fed, if you had a gravity fed, you don't really need them, but definitely force fed stuff, and in the kind of the halo days, right? And that you don't want to have one ball go in and then slip forward a little bit, which you can do because remember you're in a breech that's not sized to the paintball, the barrel size of the paintball. So the paintball could be a little bit larger or a little bit smaller in there and could roll forward. Then another ball goes halfway down, right? Maybe one goes forward, it stops at the barrel. The next one goes in and it rolls forward, stops here, and the next one gets halfway down, and as this closes, you're splitting the ball in half and you're blowing paint up and paint down. The idea is to put one ball down there and put it right in front of the bolt, and to make sure that the bolt is not slamming up against the ball that's rolled forward. So if a ball is right there and it's basically against the back of the bolt and it's held there, and when the bolt goes forward, it's going to push the ball forward instead of the bolt going forward and slamming into the ball, potentially breaking the ball. So that's the point of a detent on a closed bolt system as an autococker. Yes, it prevents double feeding. Okay, so what's this? Oh, hold on. This is Jokers. Yep, that's right. Prevents double feeding. New ShockTech Doc collab this year. Is there a new one? There's more Fire Series coming. I talked to Danny yesterday. Before Christmas, I talked to him, and I go, hey, what's the plan on getting more Fire Series done? He goes, where he works in a manufacturing, the machine that he normally does, basically rents time in from the manufacturing company he works for, is their kind of their prototype machine. Smaller machine was great for doing what he does here, and good for prototype. But now they're running parts on it because they're in full process there, and so he hasn't had time to even run ShockTech stuff. And so there's stuff coming from ShockTech. There's Fire Series that's up in line. There's some new stuff coming I can't talk about, but there's some cool stuff coming from ShockTech. They don't make big swinging changes on things. You know, Desert Fox was a big swinging change in design. The Fire Series is a big swing for them to a certain degree. I think the Judge was also. You know, a lot of people kind of compare this to Judge. It's so much different when you have them next to each other. And honestly, a Judge in person is a really good looking gun. I don't like photos of it, but a Judge in person is a really good looking marker. So yes, there are some other cool things coming that I can't talk about yet, and because we don't, you know, it all depends on time. If you go and you say something, and then, you know, Shot Tech gets hammered. When are you gonna get this done? You know, we know you're doing it, and he's like, man, that's next year's type of thing or whatever. And then with COVID, everything is back by a year easily on stuff for new things. I mean, continuing lines, so it's easier, but for newer stuff, it's sometimes backed up a little bit. And you know, he machines the majority of the parts, the big stuff at his facility, but like LPRs, 3-ways, rams, and all this small stuff, he goes to Swiss screw shops, and I know that, you know, those shops have been impacted, and him getting work by them has been kind of tough. So hopefully that helps on that. I'm trying to think. So yeah, some more Fire Series. I'm trying to think what else. I can't talk about that stuff. Dan from Kill Shops, the Riptide, this will be available. I know his Maelstroms. Let me go grab a Maelstrom real quick. Behind me. This is the Maelstrom. This is that kind of wavy, I call it kind of bubbly, but the machining on this is like stupid ridiculous. Just really good. And so these he's supposed to be working on, but it's everything has just been, it's been a time suck for him trying to get that all done. So he's trying to get these done. So we're hoping. There's a lot of people that want these. These will be kits, I think, and some full guns. I'm pretty sure the plan is to have some of these at Super Game. This is the Riptide swirl pattern, J&J swirl tribute-ish on this. So not a ripper, not anything like that. It's a swirl, not a twister. It's a swirl. Remember J&J swirls. Let's see. Any other questions out there? Anything that I can botch the answer on and pray someone can dig me out of a hole to fix it on that? I'm looking. Don't see much. Trying to think. Let's see. I will have more Delrin trigger plates in here fairly soon. They come from Dan from Killshot, who has been impacted with SHOT Show, and they have a big train convention thing they got to go to next week, and so those should be coming in if you guys are looking for Delrin trigger plates. You know, the funny thing, I was with Danny, and I just picked up the gun and I went like that, and he goes, "Oh, don't do that." I'm like, "Don't do what?" And he goes, "Don't dry fire it." He says, "If you're going to dry fire it, make sure the back block's back." Like that. Says it doesn't slam into that screw, that jam nut, potentially damage it. Good information. I didn't know that. Okay. The purple shooter is looking good. Yeah, Ross. Yeah, it is. Ross, you were here. We had some more stuff on it. The rag's done. Let me grab the rag. Where's the parts for it? Where did I put the rag? Oh, it's right here. Let's put the rag on. Barrels all put away, so I have Cerakote to come put some of the silver stuff in Cerakote black. But yeah, no, it's definitely coming along. Trigger feels stupid good. Really good. But yeah, Ross, it's coming along really good. Which Super Game? So Oregon. So we've been going to the Oregon Super Game for probably the last 15, 16 years. We've had a booth for about, I don't know, 13 of those years, maybe 14 years. And this year, the plan is a 40-foot booth. If we can get it, we should be able to. I'm pretty sure Jason Antle, myself, I'll be representing Shock Tech West. That's the plan right now, as we have products to hopefully sell if we get stuff in. Ryan Jameson will be there with the Ryan Jameson builds. Killshot Customs, obviously, it's their main booth, and he'll have hopefully more product. That's his plan this year. There's talk of maybe we've been trying to coerce T2 from who used to work for Boston Paintball, and now he contracts with them. He's opened his own shop, his own business on doing paintball related work, and so now he's a little bit more free. And so Dan was talking to him somewhat and saying that he may try to make it out. We're crossing our fingers. So Super Game Oregon may have some pretty. Oh, I can't forget Mark Davis. Mark Davis Hand Engraving will be there. Mark's a good friend, great guy. If you ever meet Mark in person, super dude. I mean, just straight up super dude. And same with Ryan Jameson, Jason Antle, Dan Vizzani. These guys are all super people, and they're all players. I'm a player. I'm just fat and old. I play a super game. My local field's shut down, and I have to drive hours to get somewhere. So I have not played paintball for a while, and it's really disappointing. So anyway, yeah, let's see. How do you get the pin in and out of triggers? The pin. You're talking about the pin for like a standard slider. And Jake, yes, I am going to Oregon. Yeah, T2. Yep, T2's good people. William, let me know. You're talking about the pin in and out of triggers. You're talking about the on a Shock Tech gunfighter. There's a pin there. Or it doesn't really matter. It's all the same, little 1/8-inch pins. Depends on what it is. On most sliders, let me grab a slider here. This is a damn slider. I'm going to peel this off. The pin is not a captive pin, I guess. Yeah, okay, William says yes, the pin. So depending on what type of pin it is, some pins have a knurled section at the end of the pin, and you have to closely look before you push that out, and especially if you have a sear that has a roller bearing like on the inside, or has like a Shock Tech has that brass piece on their newer ones, or any of them, right? Standard or Wargame products. Okay, so man, Wargames products. Man, you can go. There's so many different avenues. If it's the Wargames hinge, it's, if I remember, they have a little set screw that holds the pin in place. If I remember right, I have to grab one, and you have to make sure that set screws out, and then the pin will slide out. If it's a gunfighter, I know the gunfighter, the pin has a knurled section on it, so when it's pushed in at a certain side, it's knurled, and you have to look at it, and you'll see. Well, let's see if I can. Let's do this. Let's do it. Hear my dog barking out there. He's probably mad at me. Let's see if this is the right one. All right, let's look at this real quick. I'm not going to push the pin out. Every frame's a little different. What I would say, the first thing I would do, if you don't know, is you have your frame off, is just put like an 1/8-inch Allen and push on that pin. If it slides out, then great. It's a slip fit, right? Pretty simple, right? And a lot of times what you can do is if you put your Allen in here and you're pushing on it on the pin, you can push it out all the way, and this Allen will hold the sear in place. So then you can put your finger on the sear and the spring, and then release everything in a safe direction so you don't have stuff flying all over the place. That's an option. But for instance, and let's see if I can get this to zoom in here. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna If you'll be able to see that or not. I'm trying to get it. Okay, you see those knurls on there? I don't know if you guys can see that in the video or not. But on those 2 pins, you see these, like, it looks like a star, little star shape. Zoom out. And if you see that, is you don't want to punch from that side to remove it. You want to flip it over and punch, as long as there's not star sides on that side, you want to punch from this side and push it towards the star side out. And the reason being is you don't, that star side is, on that pin is a little bit larger, and it's designed to lock that pin and hold it in place so it doesn't fall out. So you'll use like an 1/8 inch punch. You can get down at the hardware store, flat punch. And I like to use like a smaller hammer, not a really heavy hammer, so you're not banging away and slipping, that punch is flying all over the place. And you just, let's say this is the punch, it's not. You put it right on top and you just start tapping. Take small taps at it, right? Start tapping and then look at, see if it's moving. If it's not moving, sometimes you may have to give it a little bit of a whack, but hold it on there really tight. Make sure it's there, 1 whack, right? If you hit it a couple times and this slips off, you're gonna start dinging the aluminum all around here. So you put it on there, line it up, 1 whack, see if it works, and that should start dislodging it. And then as soon as it starts moving, then go back to smaller little hits and just tap it. And just enough shock will just slowly move that pin out and that knurling out to where it will come out. Hopefully that answers that. And then as you push that pin out with that 1/8 inch little drift punch, you just push that punch all the way through, and hopefully it will grab that that sear to make sure the spring and everything doesn't fly out. So that's some ways to do it. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right, guys? You know, I drink milk out of a glass. Actually, I don't drink milk at all. I eat. I'll put it this way: I eat ice cream out of a coffee mug. Most people eat it out of a bowl. I don't know. I like the little handle. So, like, there's a lot of ways to eat ice cream, and there's a lot of different flavors of ice cream. Eat it the way you like, because ice cream's effing good, right? Look at me. I'm fat. I know these things. You know, as long as the ice cream gets in your belly and you've got a smile on your face, kind of who cares, you know? If you're dropping ice cream all over your shirt and stuff like that, and the floor, and making a sticky mess, and yeah, you're kind of being an asshole ice cream eater. So, yeah, I think gentle taps is a good. If you haven't done it before, if you haven't pressed out a pin that has knurling on it that's designed to hold in there, you'll see that. I think on the EMEC polymer lower frames, you're going to replace the trigger with like an Inception Designs trigger, which is an amazing trigger, worthwhile, worth the money. If you're going to replace that, you'll notice that on those they'll even have a I think those are knurled too, and you want to push it one direction. I'm almost positive there. There is this really cool tool, and I have one. It's a, man, I'm going to get this little, I'm going to say this is a punch, and say this is a punch, and imagine this having a spring here in the center, and there is like an outer shaft that ran along this shaft, and then it's connected to the spring. And what you can do is you can hold it on here, and then you pull this weighted thing up and you release it, and the spring pressure goes down to weight, and it slams on there, and you can really get good accuracy with that, and you just keep on doing that. It's a light little taps, and that it allows you to not you know, have this slip, and then, you know, you're hammering it and you're wailing away because you don't know what you're doing, and you're having a great time at it, and pretty soon you're beating on the body and you got hammer marks all over everything. It prevents that, helps you prevent that, and those work really good on the polymer frame stuff. I can't remember what it is. Someone find an Amazon link to those things. It's the only thing I use Amazon for is the research, and then I go buy it at the store that they manufacture it at usually. But let's see. You go to Oregon T2, yes, the end general taps, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they are. Let's see. I don't know what your yes, they are on that. So something I said, you said yes, they are. So gentle taps, yes, they are. Oh, yes. So they are, they do have the knurling on it. So yeah, I just think it's, you know, I always try, you know, in the fire service, we had this motto, and firefighters are tough on everything, right? Is try before you pry. right? So and before you go to the door at the front of the house that's on fire, before you take the Halligan tool to that door and you open that door rough, the way that you really kind of want to do it, you kind of try to see if it's unlocked. Or before you go and you say, I'm going to use the jaws of life or whatever, the extraction tools, extrication tools, you're going to try that door, see if the door will open unnaturally by itself before you go and you sit there and you jam a tool tip in there and start spreading locks apart. Try before you pry. That's the way. That's the ice cream out of the coffee mug is pretty genius. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Hey Rick, I'm telling you, it makes it look like you're sophisticated, a coffee drinker, but really, you're just got a spoonful of ice cream in it, and you can really pack it in there. It's like a pint. You get the big mugs. Like my wife has those kind of big mugs. They're like big saucer cups, and not that I don't use those, but I do. Hold on. Someone's texting me. Who's? Okay, my wife. Why are you ignoring me? How are? Oh, I gotta get going because my wife has been texting me, and apparently I'm gonna go out to dinner with her. So anyway, let me make sure. Check under the mat for the key. There you go. You're gonna have to remember that one. Check the key. Slide hammer, that's what you're looking for. Yeah, it's kind of a Cortella, like 64, I guess how you pronounce that. Yeah, it's kind of like a slide hammer, I have slide hammers for taking bearings out of wheels where you've got the little hooks and you pull the bearing races out in the slide hammer. It's kind of the reverse. It uses a spring and then it's a slide hammer. It's the same thing, but they're small and those work really well. And if I remember, I'll somehow put a link in. Maybe I'll sell them on my site. Should I sell those? Should I buy some of those? Because I do sell these, for barbs and stuff like that. Quarter inch for fittings. I do sell these. Maybe I should sell some those. I don't sell Allen keys because it's kind of dumb. Some 14 plus ounce mugs. Oh yeah. There you go. Right, saying that, like, you could get coffee or ice cream and it'd be legit then. That's the way I look at it. All right, gentlemen, I need to get going because my wife apparently has been texting me, and I need to go out to dinner with her. And she's probably mad. So, anyway, it was great talking with everyone, as usual. I definitely appreciate all that stuff. And with that, I am going to get going. All right, you guys have a good one. Thanks for